Welcome to Mighty Married Moms. Join us at our kitchen table twice a week as the Mighty Married Moms, Debbie,
Linda,
Wendy,
invite spectacular guests to weigh in on staying sexy, vibrant, and healthy,
building marriages with soul-satisfying connection, raising happy, healthy, successful kids. Conversations with Mighty Married Moms will bring you closer to the life you really want. Episode 76. Today's show is brought to you by Deborah C. Owen, Family and Life Coach at youcanraisegreatkids.com. If you are tired of worrying about the choices your kid is making, or tired of the stress of constantly arguing with your kids or them arguing with each other, then don't wait until you are truly desperate. Get the help you and your family need and deserve today. Connect with your kids with calm compassion. Call Deborah Owen at 978-835-4354. Hey everyone, welcome back to Mighty Married Moms. I am really excited to be able to talk today about Jen and Ben Rode from the Rode Institute, that's R-O-D-E, and the co-creators of Explosive Sexual Healing. And we just had a really terrific and inspiring interview with them.
Some might say stimulating.
One might say.
One might.
That's right, that's right. So what were some of the key takeaways that you ladies had from talking with Jen and Ben?
Oh my gosh, there's so many. They're really an inspiring couple, and I think it's so interesting because they're so young.
Yeah.
And they got married after knowing each other a month.
month.
They got married right away, which I know people do, but they just knew. So it's a very interesting thing to know, to be that committed. And I think a lot of us it's sort of the dream, right? It's the prince meets the princess.
Yeah. Prince Charming.
Yeah, and but that they were very honest about it didn't mean that everything was smooth sailing, and that they've had to work through a lot of stuff even at their very young age. And their average client age is mid-30s to mid-50s. So I thought that was really interesting. So older people are going and being drawn to them and drawn to what they're doing. And I think we all can agree that sex it's an interesting thing, being together for all of us, right? We've been with our husbands for a very, very long time, for,
roughly 20 years.
Roughly 20 years. And sex changes, and it's not something that people want to talk about. It's not something that people want to address. And so I think it's very inspiring and really important work that they're doing to try to get people to get more connected with their own sexuality, and also with each other as a couple, and working on that piece.
I agree, Linda. I think it's really important because when you spend that long with somebody else, you do change. And a lot of this also is related to the fact that you're raising kids, and you spend distractions, and to put it mildly, and it's all of your energy goes to raising kids. For the longest time that was my job. A job I loved, and I still love it. I still am a mom of 3 kids who are no longer really kids, but it does take all of your time and energy and thought, and there doesn't seem, especially when they're little, there doesn't seem to be a whole lot left over for cultivating and really growing the relationship that you have with this person that you chose.
Exactly. Right. And I think we've talked about that many times on this podcast, is that whole, particularly our culture, right? And you can address this of, parenting is all about the kids, and, the marriage is secondary, and it's taken for granted, and we don't give it a lot of credibility. And also we talked with Jen and Ben about that whole culture of I gotta be on, I gotta be doing, I gotta be succeeding, I gotta be super successful in every area, and so we tend to operate from fight or flight, which we've talked a lot about on this podcast too, and we're not getting into that creative space in our brain. And that to actually do that, you need to have time where you slow down, and need to have time where you are present in the moment. And certainly, what better place to be present in the moment than when you're having sex? Let's be real, right? You can't have the ultimate orgasm if you are not present. And if you don't practice being present, I don't know that you can do it so well. You may tell yourself, I can shift during that moment, but from personal experience, I'm just going to be honest, if I'm not allowing myself to be present and mindful, I'm not very good at doing it having sex either, right? I can't just magically shift. So it's something that you need to incorporate into your life so that you can incorporate it there, because we all want to have great sex, and we all I think really we are beings that need to have partnership, and we want to stay connected our whole life, and we want to have this marriage be amazing forever. So it's not something that's going to magically happen without our putting energy into it.
It doesn't magically happen.
No.
It really doesn't. And it just takes, just like everything else in a relationship, it does take some work.
Yeah.
And that work is practicing being present.
Right.
And that applies to so many different situations in your life. And, I think you were right. What Jen and Ben are doing is really going to change the lives of so many people, and it's going to have a ripple effect. Because if you're happy in your relationship, boy, that just affects everything else that you do. And it affects your kids and your parents and your siblings and your coworkers and everything.
Yeah. And I think Ben and Jen, they really make it fun.
Yeah.
It really talking with them and what they're doing,
the
conversation, they're smart, they're fun, they're intuitive, they're great listeners, they're amazing people. I know what they're doing is incredible.
And I really, one thing that I resonated with when they said, they get a lot of clients because that's what they've been doing primarily, and now they're teaching other people how to do this modality so that they can have their own clients, or so that they can serve more people around the globe. And they talked about their average client is married about 20 years or so, and it's somewhere along the line they stop trying. And not only do you stop trying sexually, but you stop trying, or that can happen, that people just stop feeding the relationship. Period. And what's so interesting to me as somebody that is here advocating for that marriage relationship and the health of that, is that we, I know Debbie sometimes pushes back on this a little bit with me, but we do spend an awful lot of time cultivating and making sure that our children are advancing and growing. But the thought of our partner growing, he's not the same guy I married. Well, I hope not.
I hope not.
I hope not. And how have you kept up? And how have you cultivated that growth and development in another person? How have you lit them up and saying, yeah, sure, let's, you want to get a master's degree in XYZ, we'll put something else on hold and get you that, or whatever it might be. It's just interesting to me that there is some sort of a slowing down or a stopping that is because of distractions that are very real. Raising children, very real. Trying to pay the rent, very real. Trying to have 2 jobs, very real. I get all that, but it's very, very interesting that people still have this desire 20 years in, saying we're good friends, we care about each other, we love each other, but this part of our lives is just missing. We don't know how to go back there. And Ben and Jen evidently have found a really great modality to help people get back there and reconnect in a really vital, important way.
It's pretty exciting.
But their first thing they talked about was really what you're saying is, honoring each other, continuing to let each other know how important you are or how special you are.
To continue to court.
To court your
That's what she
partner.
said,
It's interesting that as a culture we just don't do that. I mean, I feel like as a health coach, that's our mentality when it comes to health. I don't really want to work at it. I just want a pill, right? That will make me lose weight or make me feel better. And we're in that fight or flight. I gotta, work, and I think we treat our relationships that way too. I shouldn't have to work at it. It should just be fun. You hear people say that, the romance isn't there anymore. Well, what are you doing about it?
Right.
What are you doing about it?
And they gave us some really great, tips that we didn't actually highlight because we had so many other things we were talking about.
Right.
So let's highlight a couple of them now. And
please.
Linda, you brought up a couple. One is to always be courting each other. And that's really important.
ABC, always be courting.
Oh, I like that.
Right?
Good. We're going to put that in the show notes.
There you go. You can have that, Ben and Jen.
Don't take each other for granted. There's so many ways that we do take each other for granted, or it's easy to do. It's easy to fall into that trap. And you shouldn't take the other person for granted. They also, this is great, he says, foreplay starts as soon as sex ends.
Yes, I love that.
So that's a kind of a fun thing to think about.
How can you continue the flirtation and when can we do this again, dear? And really, foster that flirtation.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what? That will make the rest of your life so much less stressful and so much more fun. If you're constantly flirting and with your loved one and courting each other, and then the other piece that they gave too is always be trying, this is something that I've heard, it's been in my coaching training also, is to give 100% to the other person. It's not that you give 50-50.
Nope.
It's not 50-50. It's not even 80-20.
Yeah.
It's 100%.
Right.
Because then you can take, I love the way Ben put this, you can take your power back when you take responsibility for the relationship yourself.
Right.
And not blaming the other person.
Right, because if they're the ones that are, if you did it this way, if you did it that way, well, maybe they will or maybe they won't, and then you just sit there eternally frustrated, where you say, I am going to take responsibility for what I can.
Yeah.
There's a certain group of people who, and you all know who they are, who say, we need to clean our own side of the street. We need to clean our own side of the street.
What does that mean?
Well, it means take responsibility.
Oh, okay.
You can't say,
What
oh,
happens
the
to the other
street's,
side of the street?
that's somebody else's.
But that's what I'm saying is no, it should be 100%. You're going to help, just go clean the street, right?
No. You clean your side of it. You clean what you can, what you're able to. You take responsibility for what you're able to take responsibility for, as opposed to the whole thing. I can't do the whole thing. I can't make you do anything else, sir, husband or whatever.
Uh-huh.
I can only do what I can do, and I can contribute what I can contribute, and I can take care of what I can take care of. But I'm going to do that fully. I'm not going to say, well, I'll clean my side of the street if you come out with your broom every once in a while, or something like that. The analogy may be breaking down, but
Sorry, I
I'm
just follow it. That's okay.
Yeah. I'm just trying to say is we all just need to take full responsibility for what is ours, and not wait for somebody else to step up, step over, step in.
Well, and that's the thing. What can I control? I can't control you. I can't control my kids. I can't control my boss. Half the time I can't control my dog. I can only control myself.
Yeah.
And that's...
And sometimes I don't do very well with that, controlling myself. And I just mean in terms of sometimes my anxiety gets away with me, or something, a negative thought gets away with me, and I have to really work at that. And, some negative thoughts can come into this realm of sexual healing or sexual attraction, like, oh, I'm a little heavy, why would he be interested in me, or whatever. And, I can get into some really, dark, yucky spaces. And so they were very, very empowering. And I also really like the fact when they talk about, men want to be the hero and make sure that their women are happy and fulfilled and lit up. And women are great at receiving. And that's where the power is. And that's just not conversation that is very common in the world that I live in the last 15, 20 years, 25 years. It just isn't. And so it was kind of refreshing to hear that, there are gender differences and enjoy them. There are a lot of other couples and so forth, but I just really enjoyed hearing that feminine energy and the masculine energy being elevated.
Yeah. But recognizing that men and women both have masculine and feminine energy. It's not that there's, one or the other.
Right.
And that it's only men who want to be the knight in shining armor. Women do too. We want to make our male partner, if we have a male partner, very happy as well. When he's shining and feeling confident and great, we feel great too. And as Ben said, then we're able to take back our power. It goes back to taking responsibility. If I take responsibility, then I'm not a victim of you did this and you made me feel bad. That makes me in victim mentality, which we all know doesn't work, right? So by taking responsibility, you're saying I have a piece in this, or I'm going to wholly be responsible for it, for my part in it. And I think another tip that they gave, which is always very interesting, that Jen talked about, was that it's really important to meditate every single day. She said 12 minutes can profoundly change your life. Right? And they gave a funny example of one of the women clients that they work with, and she said her first response was, what's the ROI on meditation, right? That's where we're at, right? Oh my gosh, how can I spend 12 minutes doing that when I should be doing something really productive, right? What's really productive, right? So, culturally, again, we don't give that, we're not giving credibility to slowing down and being mindful, and which is what meditation is all about. And only when you're doing that are you able to access that part of the brain, that creativity, and that's the only way that you can make a real shift, right? So we always want to be shifting, but we're not doing the things that we need to do to shift because we don't believe that it's, it's not been part of our culture.
Or it makes us uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I need to do that to change?
Yeah.
To make a difference in my life?
Right.
I can't do that.
Yeah.
That's scary.
Right. One thing that came across to me, and I wish I'd said it to them, but you guys tell me if you heard this, was that the meditation piece is actually about clearing and letting go of, as opposed to striving. And that we're, for me, I'll speak for myself, brought up to strive and grab and go and work at and produce, rather than letting something go in order for something to grow inside, or for me to achieve something or to move forward in my life. I have to let some things go. That's counterintuitive to my way of thinking, but I think it's valuable.
Yeah, no, I think that's what we've been talking about.
Yeah, there's letting it go. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and to me that was like maybe the lights dawning over Marblehead, but that's what I heard more clearly than I've heard it before, is that we do need to let go in order to grow. And it's just, so as opposed to saying, how am I meditating? Am I doing it well enough? Has it been 12 minutes yet? Have I counted enough clouds?
Start with 2.
Right. Yeah. Right. But that seems to be the goal of meditation. Sometimes for me is, have I done it well enough? And that's the antithesis of what it should be about.
Right.
That's what I'm coming to grasp.
And I realized that they started talking to us. When they meet with their clients, it's a 3-hour meeting, and they have 3 stages, and we only got through 2. So
we need to talk to them again.
We need to get them again. They said the first one is, as you were just saying, Wendy, is clearing blocks, and then the second stage is learning how to receive. And they work with women clients, although the retreat coming up is for couples, which is great. So we'll have to find out what that 3rd hour is all about.
Yes.
We'll leave everybody hanging.
Right.
Yeah.
So to speak. Yes. And I can find that everywhere I go. I know. Yeah, and Costa Rica, do we want to go?
Oh, totally.
Yeah. Right? Oh my gosh, for a
bring my
retreat.
husband.
Oh my goodness, it'd be just beautiful. Oh
Of
my
course,
gosh.
it is in the middle of ski season. I don't know.
Yeah.
Might be
6
hard.
one, half dozen the other. Yeah. No,
So.
it'll be lovely. And they're just wonderful people, and can't wait for you to send in your comments and
Yeah,
questions.
please. We would love to have you comment below this post on mightymarriedmoms.com. Because we want to hear what you have to say. You know, sex is one of those taboo subjects. Well, forget it. It's not taboo anymore. Let's talk about it.
That's right.
So,
and they want to come back. Can we tell them what they told us?
what?
That we were their favorite interviewers.
Yes.
We were so excited. They said, you all have your own
We're so
distinct
honored.
personalities. We were like, well, shoot, we were trying for that automated response personality, but anyway.
Yeah.
So that was pretty
They
exciting.
were begging us to come back. So
They were.
I think we're going to have to.
Yep.
So here's another thing. If you have some additional questions that you would like to ask Jen and Ben, put those in the comments.
Yes, and we will talk about it.
Or if you're not comfortable doing that, you can just go ahead and write to us and let us know that you have some comments and questions.
Yeah.
And we'll make sure that we ask them the next time we interview them.
Yeah.
So this was really great. So mightymarriedmoms.com. I am Debbie Owen. I am from youcanraisegreatkids.com.
Linda Tighe, All Well Breaks Loose.
And I am Wendy Williams from connectagain.org.
Yeah, so we each have our own businesses, but we come together every week to give this gift to you and to ourselves, let's be
Yes,
honest.
absolutely.
We have a blast doing this.
We do.
And we
Gotta
hope that
say.
you'll come back again next week, and please share this with all of your family and friends. Give us a rating and review on iTunes. That would help a lot. And please, we'll look forward to seeing you next week. Thanks so much, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us for this episode of Mighty Married Moms. Tune in twice a week on Mondays and Thursdays to meet fascinating and inspiring guests who will help you create the life you've always wanted.
You can find these episodes and special gifts just for you at mightymarriedmoms.com, as well as a link to our Facebook community,
where we continue the conversation around the kitchen table. Please also help share the love by leaving a review on iTunes. We'll see you next time.